If you followed this channel at all, you'll know that this is far from my first cemetery. I love coming to these cemeteries. There's so much to learn, so much to do and to understand. Honestly, I think a cemetery really does teach us a lot more about where we are now than almost anything could teach us. This is a beautiful cemetery. As I mentioned before, this is a Jewish cemetery. They have a lot of cultural pieces that are a little bit different than other cemeteries. This particular cemetery is mostly famous up there for the Jolson Memorial. We'll take you over there, but it is considered to be one of the most elaborate memorials that you will find in Los Angeles, Hollywoodland. We'll go there in a few minutes. Right now we are walking through their babyland. If you're not familiar, most cemeteries have what they call a babyland. This is where, unfortunately, a lot of infants and very young children, when they pass away, they get buried in these babyland areas, and that's right over there, which, again, these things are tragic, but I will say they do a good job of keeping everything up here. It's a beautiful place. This is Sunland Gardens. As you can see, there's still quite a decent amount of spots open on here, mainly for family members to be interned with their family members who have passed on before. Quite a few here. These go back a decent ways. Look at this crypt. This is kind of cool. They've got a little area here that you can water your flowers and do a little gardening for your loved ones. There are quite a few names that keep coming up. Fine is one of them, and I do know that Mo Howard is here, and he's the only one of the Stooges that is buried here, but Fine is definitely a name that is familiar to most Stooges fans. I'm not going to show a whole lot of the names on here, strictly because I sort of have a rule about that. If it's a celebrity, you know, people are used to visiting, but for everyone else, I want to make sure that they get some privacy, so I try not to show a whole lot of more recent graves or crypts or any of the above. It's quite a large mausoleum, actually. So there are places that you will see a space has been cleared, but there is no actual stone. Jewish tradition, they do not actually put your stone in until 1 year after you have passed away. So there are some spaces here that you see are open. They really are open. Others are just unmarked for the moment. Look at these garden crypts. Look at these garden crypts and look at the artwork. That is gorgeous. Greg just pointed out that that one is probably supposed to be Moses parting the Red Sea. Wow. Oh yeah. In all the cemeteries I've done, I've never seen anything quite like this. You've got the gardens basically on the roof of the mausoleum. Now look at that wide view of the entire cemetery. An incredible tree right here too. Also, you'll see rocks placed on some of these. That's another Jewish tradition, is you leave rocks on the stones. All right, here's one of the ones that we specifically came in here for. Isidore Friz Freleng, 1906 to 1995. He shared his talent with the world. Right here, you will see the Looney Tunes. And did he create the Looney Tunes? He created some of the Looney Tunes. He's the one that gave us the Looney Tunes that we know today. Before he was there were a few of the older Looney Tunes floating around. They might have been Silly Symphonies or Merry Melodies. I'm trying to remember which one they
Merry
had.
Melodies, but I just remember seeing his name every time I would fire up a Looney Tunes cartoon.
I mean, he really is. I would say he's the Walt Disney of Warner Brothers cartoons, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And maybe the Ubai works.
Chuck Jones, I think, but
yes.
Friz Freleng.
Right here. This is incredible. And somebody left a Pink Panther, I believe, for him.
I don't know what that is.
I think that used to be a Pink Panther at some point.
Looks like an alligator to me.
See, I'm getting Pink Panther dressed like Inspector Clouseau. But either way, right here, this is pretty darn incredible to see this. If you'd like to come pay your own respects to Friz Freleng, you remember this relief of Moses parting the Red Sea? Right around the corner where Greg is standing right now, that is where you will find Friz Freleng. That is incredible, isn't it?
I think it's awesome.
We've now come up to the top of the hill. I'll give you an idea. Over there, that building is where we were to see Friz Freleng a few minutes ago. Now we've come up to the top of this hill, and correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, this is probably one of the actors, if there were, I don't want to overstate actors' impacts on life, but if you were to state an actor's impact on a lot of lives, I would say this guy's like right up there, right?
I mean, William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, the two people that had the most influence on me, because I love Star Trek so much and all of the ideals that it stands for. So yeah, definitely seeing Leonard is top of my list.
So, in case you were curious and hadn't figured it out, Leonard Nimoy is back here.
Oh, did I spoil it?
Well,
sorry.
I mean,
I didn't mean to spoil it.
Technically, you could have been William Shatner, except for the logistics don't work out.
Yeah.
This is an absolutely beautiful garden back here. Look at this little pond, little river cutting through. This is a newer area. There's not really a whole lot of people who are up here just yet. I'm sure, unfortunately, it will fill in. Look at these little individual gardens that they have. I believe for families. This, again, has not been filled out. Also want to point out some of the plant life here. I've never seen a cemetery use anything like this before. Right over there you have the final resting place of Jerry Weintraub. I don't believe he passed away all that long ago. It was in the 2000s, but honestly anything in the 2000s to me feels like not that long ago. Beautiful little garden here, and as you can see, people have left a lot of stones above his name. They've also left a lot of little pewter elephants, some Hot Wheels cars I see here as well. I don't want to trample over there, so I'm kind of going to show you what I can from here. Wow, here we have Leonard Nimoy. I doubt I need to explain who Leonard Nimoy is, but if you don't know, he was Spock on Star Trek, among several things actually, but that is the one that people are most well known for. I do want to show, this is kind of heartbreaking, one of the stones that says "Miss You, Dad," and one of them that says "Poppy." So I think we know who probably left those ones. If you want to come over here and pay your respects, look for the larger waterfall, and then just cross this bridge. He is the first stone here. Big moment for me, much bigger moment for Greg. Greg is easily one of the bigger Star Trek fans that I know. And I have to ask, what's going through your head?
It means a lot to me. Spock means not just to me, but to millions of people around the world. So,
yeah. That is
an honor to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a role that actually, I would say, literally changed our current culture.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Spock will just live on forever. And not just what Spock did, you know, the character of Spock, but Leonard himself. I mean, he was so instrumental in a lot of what we know as Star Trek today. You know, he directed Star Trek 3, Star Trek 4, and he directed Three Men and a Baby, if you don't remember that. And he did a lot of other television shows and things like that. I mean,
Recording artist, did a lot of voiceover.
Remember the song, was it The Ballad of Bilbo Baggins?
Yep.
That he sang. So he's very, very multifaceted in terms of his skill set.
He was the voice of Unicron, was he not?
He was the voice of Galvatron.
Galvatron, excuse me. That's right. Orson Welles was, I'm sorry. Galvatron was Leonard Nimoy. And he was then Sentinel Prime, I believe, in one of the later Transformers movies.
You got me on that one.
The Michael Bay movies.
Oh, right, the new one.
Yeah, I want to say that may have been one of his very last major theatrical releases.
Right.
But, definitely, out of all the Star Trek movies, I always liked his movies, I will call them, probably the most. I thought they were the most human, the most grounded. But right here, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area. Right over here, Steve Lawrence, husband, father, grandfather, passed away last year. We may not go far, but sure as the star, wherever we are, it's together. Count on it. So Steve Lawrence was one of those just sort of all-around entertainers. He was an actor, he was a singer, I believe he could dance, he could tell a joke. You may have seen him with Eddie Gourmet on a few things. Actually, I believe you may have seen him a couple of times with Frank Sinatra as well. He is definitely from that era. And actually, speaking of Edie, I didn't even know this. I look over 2 spaces down, and here is Eddie Gourmet again, all-around entertainer, singer, actress, a little bit of everything. I would say she was probably more of like that silver era of Hollywood. A lot of the 60s, 70s, all through the 80s even, was not uncommon to see Edie and Steve, especially on these various specials that you would see with, like, when the Rat Packers would do their specials. We have the Factor family here: Max Factor Jr., David Factor, Anna Factor. There's a lot of them. I'm not going to go through all of them. Max Factor Sr. is really who gave us much of the Hollywood makeup technique that we still use today. So if you've watched any of the older monster movies or any of those things, you know Max Factor's work, even if you didn't know that you knew Max Factor's work. Right here we have Michael Landon. He has his own little area right here. Michael Landon. He was on a lot of things, including when I was young. He had the show where he was the traveling angel. Do you remember the name of that?
Touched by an Angel?
No, that was the other one. That was the one starring
Highway to Heaven.
Highway to Heaven, exactly. And he played an angel that would go around and improve people's lives. He was also in Little House, was he not? He was the big name on Little House.
That's definitively how I remember him. In fact, look right here. Join Team Little House. Wow. Honor the legacy of Michael Landon.
Wow. Look at this. This is quite incredible. I've never seen anything like that before with the glass door. Obviously they don't want anyone going in there and bothering things, but that is quite unusual. You can see there's actually quite a few of these more personalized areas. Just walked into the Mausoleum. Enormous. Media legend Jack Benny over there. He has quite the crypt. Jack, I mean, I don't think it's overstating things to say that Jack was another one of those bigger than life. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Walking out of the Mausoleum, where Jack Benny is, among others, of course, Michael Landon. Right in front of us here, this particular grave is absolutely legendary in and of itself, not to mention the gentleman who's buried there is legendary. This is Al Jolson. Al Jolson, most well known for The Jazz Singer, which was the first talking movie way back in the day. Now, Al wore blackface in that particular movie, which is obviously, especially these days, a very big no-no. As I understand, though, in this particular case, he did it primarily in a good way, if that makes any sense. He was actually very big on African American rights, and was very big on making sure that black actors were included in his movies and were treated very well, treated just like everyone else. And well, at the time, he was very much loved by that community. Now, this particular memorial is considered to be one of the most famous ones in all of Hollywood. It is absolutely enormous, as you can see. Let me show you the front of this. Oh. Before I do, this is the character that I was talking about. Mr. Al Jolson. You can see this memorial very well from the highway. And if you walk down here just a little bit, you will see the waterfall that flows out. Very, 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 very famous memorial right here. And again, we talk about legends. You cannot put too fine a point on just how big Al Jolson was at the time where he was alive, when he passed away, and his influence on everything Hollywood that has come since. Just amazing. Greg just noticed something on the ceiling for this particular monument. Wow, look at that. Those are the tablets. While there are quite a few other names that you would recognize here, this is going to be the last one we do on this trip. Gives us a reason to come back. Right here, Milton Berle, Uncle Milty. Loving husband, adored father, beloved Grandpa Milton, Milton Berle. You filled our lives with laughter and love, 1908 to 2002. I can't believe Milton Berle has been gone for 23 years as of today. That is incredible. Milton, again, I know I sound like a broken record. This is another absolute legend in Hollywood. Not just in Hollywood, also New York, and he was just kind of all over the place. The
funny thing is, incredible. I mostly remember him as being on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Uncle Milty.
Uncle Milty. Thank you for the laughs, my friend. Well, for today, I think that is going to do it for us. Takes a lot to leave me speechless. What I will say is, if you, like me, enjoy coming to these cemeteries and learning about the past and leaving respects for those who came before and those who blazed many of the paths that we walk today, that's a big part of what we do on this channel, and I would love to have you join me. Hit that subscribe button if you would like to. And wow, I'm still trying to get over what all we've seen today. So for Greg and myself here in Los Angeles, California, I hope you'll join us again next time when we do Just a Little Exploring.